Hello guys, and welcome to this Make segment. I'm your host, Zachary, and today I've got a very special guest, Arian. Say hello, Arian.
Hello guys!
So Arian, the reason I've asked you onto the show today is because we've been working on an MP3 player project as part of our learning about the design process. And right now, we're on the test and feedback stage. And I was wondering if I could get some feedback from you.
Let's do this.
All right, great. So here's the MP3 player.
Oh.
If you could just give me a little bit of...
Your MP3 player just got broken.
So what do you think we should do about that? So thank you, Arian, so much for your valuable feedback. As part of the design process, we need to, of course, test and get some feedback, right, from our users. So we noticed that it broke, and Arian and I thought for a while, we realized that this thing really needs a case. I mean, look at this thing, right? This is gonna break so easily. We really need a case on this thing because for one, I'm really clumsy, and for two, Arian can't catch. So we're gonna go ahead and construct a case for this MP3 player. Now luckily, we've already constructed everything, laser cut it out, we bought the correct materials, so we're gonna be, on this video, putting together this case, and we're gonna get to take a look at one way that you can design an enclosure for your own projects at home. So, let's go ahead and dive in. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fix this broken part that Arian has broken. Thank you, Arian. There we go, perfect. And let's get started with the enclosure. So this is a paneled enclosure. So we've got a front panel and a back panel. And we're gonna be using what's known as standoffs. So standoffs are these little guys here, okay? And we use them to stand off of some sort of plane. And when you're working with PCBs on your own projects, you're often gonna be using these standoffs to give some room between the components on your PCB and the actual enclosure that your components are inside. So you can see here on the PCB, we've got four holes here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, we're gonna be attaching standoffs in each corner to our actual project here, to our front panel. So let's go ahead and let's get started by connecting some of the standoffs to our PCB. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna grab this first standoff, and it's really the shortest of the bunch, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna connect it down here on the bottom. So I'm gonna grab 1 and 2, okay? And I'm gonna grab a couple of these standoffs here, and these ones I'm actually just using as nuts, and I'm gonna attach these standoffs with these ones. And I'm just using these as nuts. There we go. One there, and one there. Perfect. Just like that, okay? So that looks pretty good. What we're gonna do next is I'm gonna grab another 2 of these short standoffs here, and I'm gonna put 1 there and 1 there. And I'm gonna grab these slightly longer standoffs, and I'm gonna be connecting them on this side here. So I'm gonna screw this one here, like that, and this one here, like that. So we'll screw that on, perfect. Okay, fantastic. So you guys can see now, we've got some standoffs on our PCB, right? And we can see that there's some space here. So if I took this panel and I held this on here, you can see now there's room above the components, right? So this panel can sit comfortably. So what we're gonna do next is we're going to attach the PCB to this front panel, here. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna grab my front panel, and I'm just gonna attach it just like that. And you can see my buttons pop through these holes, right? So that was a design consideration. We wanted to protect the PCB, but we still wanted to be able to use the tactile switches, right? These push buttons. And so we have made holes for each of these push buttons to stick through. So what I'm gonna do next is I am just going to grab one of these little screws here, okay? These are number 4 -40 type screws, and we are going to be screwing them into our standoffs. And luckily I've got a screwdriver, so I can just screw these in nice and easy. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that is going to attach our PCB to the front panel. Fantastic. That one's on there. Like that. And our last one here, like that. Now, this is actually really important for your design, is looking at where force is being applied. So I have a lot of force that's being applied on these push buttons regularly, okay? Every time I push down, I'm pushing against the PCB, and I might actually be pushing it away from that front panel. So it's really important that we have a nice strong connection of the PCB to the front panel here, right? Because if we didn't, then we might actually be flexing the PCB away from that front panel, okay? So that's why we've actually secured the PCB in 4 corners, okay? We want it to be really, really secure. So let's go ahead and let us add the next 2 pieces, which are gonna go over on this side. And that back panel is actually just gonna cover over the back there. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna grab 2 of these longer standoffs, 2 of these longer ones. And you'll notice that with the PCB, they're actually the same height. And that was done on purpose, right? Because we want this back panel to be completely flush, to be at the exact same height. So when you guys are working on your own designs, you have to keep in mind what the height of your final standoff is gonna be, right? What the height of your final standoffs are going to be. So let's go ahead, we're gonna grab 2 more screws here, and I'm going to attach these guys onto the front, these guys, these gals, onto the front, just like so. So we screw that one on, and I don't even really need a screwdriver here. I've got one just in case, but really for these pieces I can sort of just hold it down with my thumb and screw it on just like that. Okay, fantastic. So you can see now this back panel is going to fit on just like that. Congratulations. But we're not done. We still need to attach our speaker, right? We still need to attach the speaker here, and we are going to do that using 2 of these guys. So these are some slightly taller standoffs, the same ones that we used, actually we haven't used these yet. So these are actually gonna be used to stand off our speaker away from that enclosure. And there are 2 little mounting holes you can see here. And these are what we're going to be using to mount the speaker to the front panel. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna grab 1 standoff like this and 1 screw like this. And we're just going to screw that again onto the front panel here, and another one again on the front panel here. We're almost done. We're almost there, guys and gals. Here we go. We're gonna connect our speaker now onto those 2. Okay guys, so we finished putting together our MP3 player with the enclosure, this new feature that we got some feedback was really needed. And yeah, look at that, doesn't that look great? And if I drop it now, I'm not gonna smash any important components, except for maybe the push buttons, unfortunately. Those are the only things that are really exposed, but isn't that great? And the speaker is attached, you can see here, with 1 standoff that is male to female and 1 that is female to female with some Phillips screws on the front. So that's good, and all our push buttons work, which is fantastic. And another thing that's really important is that the ports are exposed on the sides, okay? So that was intentional, because we're gonna have to plug in our USB into the side. Wow. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to check us out at ZenMakerLab.com, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So your challenge for this make segment is I want you guys to build a enclosure that will hold an egg, okay? And you're only allowed to use popsicle sticks or straws, okay? So using popsicle sticks, straws, tape, and hot glue, I want you to construct some sort of enclosure around an egg and see what is the highest height that you can drop it from. So take a video, design your enclosure, take a video of you dropping this egg with this straw or popsicle stick enclosure and send it to us. Again, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter, zenmakerlab.com, and you can use the hashtag DesignMakePlay.